Rebecca, Mr. Corey Holcomb just walked in on the line, so he's here with us.
Yeah, I'm the
okay.
late nigga. The Illuminati made me late.
You know what? There we go.
They conspired to make sure the freeway was too packed for me to get here on time. It's some bullshit.
Okay.
Now, but you know, I walked in on the last thing. A lot of people who don't understand what may be going on, I think it's a natural reaction to act like something wrong with everybody else. You see what I'm saying? So I already could tell that's what was happening. You know, on the phone, you know, it's like a deep subject. This Illuminati thing. A lot of people hear about it because somebody said something about it, but they never really read up on exactly what it is.
Loosely, right? They don't understand.
So a lot of people may be calling in because they're lost. They're trying to figure out what's going on. I would say to people out there who don't know what Illuminati is, if you have a smartphone, you can just put the word Illuminati in. I want to make sure I spell it right.
Is that what they should do, Rebecca? What do you suggest?
They should definitely, but if they want to know what it has to do in terms of hip-hop, you have to be careful because there are a lot of false teachers out there, too. So you've got a lot of people who put up blogs and sites, and they have no clue. They're just rehashing information, and they're making up stuff. My information is based on me dealing with these people directly. So that's the difference.
Right.
So if they want to know about
a lot of people
hip-hop,
get their information. A lot of people get their information from hearsay and, you know, whatever. They actually don't read and figure out what's going on with whatever is going on with anything in life. Most information in this world is given through he say, she say.
Yeah. We used to call it the Negro News. Actually, I have a blog called Negro News. and that's pretty much what it. Yeah, that's pretty much what it sums up.
That's my language right there. Right. That's my era.
Bobby like that.
Woke me up with that.
Right, the Negro News.
Yeah, I specialize in
Believe
that.
me, if you check out most of her blogs, Bobby, you'd be so intrigued. I'm telling you right now.
Let me ask. I want to ask her a question. Do you think there's a lot of religion that has been passed down Negro News wise?
Religion passed down. I think we are brought up into our religions for the most part. We practice what our family practices. And so if you come from a family of Catholics, that's what you grow up praying to. But I think there's a lot of misconception in religion, and obviously everybody who says that they are of the faith don't always walk it. There are a lot of talkers, but there are not a lot of walkers. So I don't know if I answered your
No, you answered the question perfectly. I try to explain to a lot of my Christian friends that they go to church because they were taught to go to church. Most people who've been going to church 20, 30 years have never read that Bible. They're just going along with what they were. It's almost like the end thing to do. It's a club.
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's not just the Christians, because look at what we just had. We just had Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jews' biggest holiday, and they don't eat, they don't touch money, and they use that one day out of the year to ask God to forgive them for all the robbing and stealing and lying that they've done the rest of the year. And then once that day is over, they're back to hustling and lying and thieving and doing everything else they've done. And so, you know, you've got your Sunday morning Christians. They get up. You know, they come to church on Sunday, but they were fornicating Saturday night. They were up in the club, you know, and whatever else they do. And so, you know,
I explain to people all the time, I get more pussy at church than anywhere else in America.
What? Oh my God.
This is the truth. I don't even like going to nightclubs. That's a waste of money. I mean, that's real stuff. You get a lot of women with weak faith at church. I guess that's why they're at church, to work on their faith.
Well, shame on you for preying on women who need the Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. What's that Jewish holiday she said? I need to have about 8 of them a year.
Corey can have a Rosh Hashanah
right.
a couple of times.
I do Rosh Hashanah once a week.
And you take advantage of those poor lost souls who are trying to give up their whoring ways, and you take advantage of them. That's like taking advantage of Jezebel when she came to Jesus, and here are men in the streets throwing money at her, and you know it's hard to come.
Do I get credit for this, Rebecca? I always go after the veteran church women, the girls who've been there for years, who should know better than to be fucking with people like me.
You're a hot mess.
Their faith is weak, Rebecca.
Yeah,
He
obviously.
is terrible.
Obviously.
As you see, he is terrible, Rebecca. Don't worry. We prayed
He
for
is.
him.
And I saw his picture on Facebook. He's handsome, just like Satan. So I can see him.
Oh, he handsome.
I like that. I like that. She say handsome
so
like Satan.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Satan's the
Satan
most
was
beautiful
handsome.
angel. So I could see you show that beautiful face up, and then all these women, they get weak. And I can imagine this harm.
I love it.
Is her last name Galata? Rebecca Galata? 'Cause she hitting lower than motherfucker.
Right. Okay. She's smart. When you talking to
Yeah,
people who are intelligent, which is really funny, I want to say this before we take this caller. When you're talking to intelligent people, they can insult you without you even knowing.
Right, Rebecca? That's called boom, boom, boom. Get it. Well, look, Rebecca, we're going to take another caller.
When I talk to girls with low vocabulary, I say, "Oh, you look very obstreperous today." They be like, "Oh, thank you."
You know what?
What? It happens a lot.
Goodness, Rebecca. Look, we're going to talk to Richard from Texas. Richard, go ahead. Are you on there?
Hey, thanks for taking
Richard.
my call. Are you hearing me pretty good because I'm driving?
Sure,
Yeah.
there you go. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I want to thank the young lady for having the courage to step out. I want to thank you guys for having the courage to have her on because a lot of the hip-hop community knows about this. A lot of the professional athletes, a lot of everybody who's making a lot of money knows about the Illuminati, and they're scared to talk about it because they don't want to lose their careers or their life. So I want to thank the young lady for having that kind of courage because these people are extremely dangerous. And I know that for a fact because one of the leaders of the movement to expose the Illuminati is a guy named Alex Jones up in Austin, Texas. And I think Miss Rebecca, I didn't catch her last name, she ought to work hard on getting on his show because she can sell a lot of books and get a whole lot of exposure, and he'll be glad to have her on because he's always looking for black folks who are willing to come out and help expose the Illuminati, like people like Dick Gregory, people like Cynthia McKinney. They've all been on his show. And he will give you plenty of time to expose what you know because you've been right there in the thick of things. So I just want to thank you for your service because this is indeed a service, too, because these people have killed entire generations just with their sick philosophies. So
Yes.
I don't know if you can still hear me, but
I can.
I get kind of long-winded because I'm driving and I'm by myself. So
Go ahead, Rebecca. You want to say anything to that caller?
Yes, I actually do. For starters, my name is Rebecca Scott, and that's my full name. And you can actually reach me, and you can have your associate reach me via my blog, which is hiphopilluminati.blogspot.com. And I'm also on Amazon.com, author page, Rebecca Scott. And I just want to say something in terms of what you were speaking on. Yes, thank you. I am fearless, but I do have to use caution because this thing is bigger than hip-hop. Hip-hop is just one small part of it. And the whole idea of it, when I mentioned Jamie Foxx's interview that he did on Foxxhole a year ago regarding hip-hop, and he said it controls the mind. Well, this is one of the purposes of the Illuminati infiltrating hip-hop is to control the mind. It's a form of mind control. And I just want to give you just a brief background because I know I talk a little bit too much, so I'm going to try to give you the short version.
Rebecca, okay, good, because we're going to take a break in a little bit. Do you want to wait and do that right afterwards, so this way we don't cut you off?
Can I ask that question?
Well, we're going to take. We got to take a break right now.
You tell me, Dee. Whatever you say.
Could you? But caller, thank you so much for calling in, and she's going to finish that up when we return, if that's okay, because we got to take this break.
Yes, of course it is. Yeah, get that money.
So just
Sure.
okay. Hold on to that thought, Rebecca, please. And Richard, thank you so much for calling in. And yes, we are very grateful that she's on here with us today. And we'll be right back, everybody.
We back. 5150 show. Number to call in is 855-369-9898. We talking to Rebecca. She put it out there on them motherfucking bullshit ass people. Rebecca, I know you're not used to people talking like this. I'm just trying to relate to the people who don't read.
Oh, baby, you forget I'm from the hood. So I still live in the hood. It's just, you know,
that's what's up.
You
Her
can't
AKA is
judge people.
Hollywood.
Her AKA is Hollywood.
Without, yes. My Twitter is real Hollywood, and I keep it 100. So I don't judge people because the walk that I take is the walk that I chose to take. But I was a hellraiser for most of my years, so no, do you, baby? It's cool.
What?
She did a dime, Corey.
Darlene keep whispering.
No,
what
because
she's saying.
he missed all the stuff. He missed all the introduction on your background, like how that guy.
She did 10.
How he couldn't understand it. You know what I'm saying, Rebecca? And you broke it down like that's. There's a reason why. See, so people understand your background. And like
so you gave them people 10 years.
They took 10.
Oh, I had to. And actually, I was supposed to get life, but under the Rockefeller, because I went down under what they call RICO, which was Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organization.
You had some Mark Barker in you, didn't you?
No, I actually did what I had to do to stay in the game, and then I got caught out there by the very people that I trusted. And the way they screwed me is the same way they screwed John Forte and everybody else who was on the payroll during that time. You know, they get you to transport their drugs, and then everything's good. And then the minute you do something that they don't like, you're out of the game. And and like I was saying, even with BMF, there was a lot more behind that than people know. You don't get in that position and get in that type of money bracket without the powers that be.
May I ask a quick question?
For lack of a better word.
That's so basically what you're saying. All that stuff is allowed, right?
It's not a lie, but there are people behind the scenes that unless you're in it, you won't even know. And when it goes down,
said allowed.
You don't know. Oh, yes, allowed. Oh, yeah, the feds. Are you kidding? The feds is the Illuminati police.
Right. See, that's what's up. A lot of people don't understand. Is Barack Obama being in office allowed?
I will tell you this. America is deluded. Every 4 years, we go through this ritual of casting votes, and what the people don't realize is that we don't put anyone in office. The person who's going to be president has already been decided. So that ritual that you do going down to voting, that's all it is. It's just a 4-year ritual that people do, like going to church on Sunday. They do it every 4 years. It makes no difference. They have already decided who's going to be in office.
This is my first time. I want everybody out there listening. This is my first time talking to Rebecca, and I say that because I tell people who tell me that something is wrong with me for not going down there to vote that you're the fucking idiots, but they don't believe me. They think something is wrong with me as they fucking break their neck to get everybody else to go down there and do something that's absolutely meaningless.
You know what it does? What the meaning of it is? It's an opinion poll. That's all it is. It just shows the government which way the people are leaning. But the government, we haven't been we the people in quite some time. So if you think your government cares about you, they don't. I have almost 75 videos on YouTube, and a good portion of them, almost half of them, talk about what the government really is.
Yeah, the government is the exterminators.
Yeah, even down to the money, even down to, I mean, it gets so deep. But I wanted to just throw this out there because I'm on Jamie's show, and I just wanted to say, he mentioned something in 2011 on a Foxxhole interview about the HipHop and how it controls the youth in terms of the mind control. And I don't even know if he knew how close he was to the truth, because there was a German physician, and Dee, you saw my video, so you know where I'm going with this. Franz Anton Mesmer was a German physician in the 1700s, and this bit of history is very important because he did his dissertation on the effect on something he called magnetisme animal, which is in English animal magnetism. And his dissertation, he had an experiment where he put subjects in a dim room with music, with lights flashing, and fed them subjective thoughts. Now, what do you find when you go into the club? There's dimness with lights flashing and music playing. Mesmer, his name, is actually where we get the word mesmerize. He found in his studies that the subjects were receptive to whatever they were fed in that environment. So people who say, "Oh, listening to music doesn't affect me," even myself, I cannot tell you. When I was Yo-Yo and I started way back in the day an organization called the Intelligent Black Women's Coalition, which is a joke because both of us were dumb and stupid back then. But the point is that I was hanging out, and when NWA came out with "F the Police," and I was in the car with a brother who was with this group, something hieroglyphics, and the song came on, and I saw him transform. He went from this nice guy that we had just went on a date to this violent, banging on the steering wheel, ready to go F up some police. So people don't realize that the thing with the music, it's all part of a control. The one you see, there's no more money for music in schools. They took religion out of schools, which is the worst thing they could have ever done. But they have the money for jails. And now what do they have? They have prisons. Everything is being set up to re-enslave us. That's the bottom line. And people need to wake the hell up.
I agree 100% because they have a station called BET, and
she spoke about that earlier too, actually.
One thing I've noticed about BET is they play music where they allow you to dance and brag, but they do not play any rap music that will enlighten black people. And there's a lot of rappers who used to make songs with information in there. You can't get any play on BET with music like that. All you can do is play stupid Lil Wayne shit. That, yo, I got an outfit, and it's a purple one.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Rebecca, go ahead.
Oh, no, but I wanted to hear the last part of what he said.
No, I was just saying, like, a lot of the songs that they play on BET are absolutely meaningless, where back in the day, artists would make songs with information in the raps. But they don't allow you to give information on BET. If your song is informative, especially informative in a way that can help your culture, it can't get any radio play, and it won't get played on BET.
Now, let me just enlighten you a little bit on BET in terms of their background. People don't even realize that the founder, Bob Johnson, was Hillary Clinton's puppet for years, many, many years. Any agenda that she promoted, he promoted on BET. When he finally sold out, he had sold out as a person long before, but when he finally sold BET to Sumner Redstone, that is when the Illuminati front, whose sole purpose is to dilute the minds of African Americans with perverse ideals and to enslave the youth with violent, ignorant programming. And this is when things like The Wire and all these other shows, everything is a reality show now, except they're not reality. But they're pushing it as reality. And anything that is positive or uplifting is shelved because they can't do this now that they're under the domination of the Illuminati, which is Sumner Redstone, a billionaire white old man who picked up this black entertainment television solely to use it in their overall plan of world domination. See,
what is his name again? Redstone?
She's leaving out somebody really important.
Sumner Redstone.
You're leaving out John Malone. That was his mentor.
Excuse me?
You're leaving out a very important person in this equation, and that was John Malone, who was a cable network giant, and he mentored Bob Johnson, and that's what he sold the network to John Malone, and him and Sumner Redstone run in the same circles.
Yes, but Sumner Redstone is actually the owner, the exclusive and sole owner of Viacom, who owns BET.
It's a big difference.
So it's I'm talking at that level in terms of who owns the actual parent that owns BET. Viacom owns a lot of things. BET
right, you're speaking factual.
Yeah, they just are one of their acquisitions. But the reason I left out Malone, and this I had said earlier too, is because I only speak on what I know. So I didn't know of Malone, and I didn't have any
some people can understand that people who are speaking from factual information rather than somebody ran with somebody. I mean, if you run with somebody, that's where's the facts in that? That's what I was trying to explain to my friend Bobby right here. But what's that dude name you said? Redstone.
Yes. Sumner Redstone is the owner. He is the CEO of Viacom, which is a parent that owns several entities, and BET is just one of them.
Right.
So that's the
look
parent.
up this dude.
Yeah. And
Sumner
Redstone, you also he has quite a few companies and things. You know, a lot of these people are in bed with a lot of other people. So I don't know who Malone is, but I wouldn't doubt that he's part of that and that he would be Illuminati. But when you look at a lot of these labels and Interscope and Jimmy Iovine and a lot of these hip-hop labels have Illuminati at that level. The artists can't be they can be used, but the owners and the people who are ahead of them, these people are all in bed with these people who are taking over the world. They have private clubs that they go to. I've been to clubs where there was all types of, I don't know if you ever saw that movie Eyes Wide Shut, where they had all this kind of these sexual clubs that you could go to, and there was everybody screwing everybody, and these are wealthy people that come there to do their dirt. And in some cases, they're even discussing business there. And they bring in their choice few house niggers, you know, people that they want to use. And they're probably in bed with
Barack Obama. Go ahead.
Money. Yes. In my book, I actually have a picture of Barack at a fraternity social. I don't know if it was a party or a dinner or what. But someone was able to take a picture of him there, sitting, and it was a Blue Wave event, and which is also what Puffy is part of.
Like, I don't know that. Like I never knew that information from you, but I'm telling you, I have the sense to know that if you're a black man trying to run for president of the United States, something is fucking wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? You're trying to be part of something that has done nothing but tortured you and basically made a fool out of you ever since they brought you here.
Well, it goes deeper. With the president, it goes deeper, and I have to be a little careful. If you go into his history, you will see that he's been on the side of the government for quite a while. This is not way long before he was in office. There's already quite a few very wealthy people, and when he worked at one of these law firms, I'm trying to remember which one it was, and one of his clients was a slumlord. Okay, it was Davis over in Washington. That was the law firm he worked at, and one of the clients was slumlord.
We're breaking out. Hold on, Rebecca. Is that her? Hold on, Rebecca.
I don't know. It's breaking up. We're missing some of the stuff you're saying.
It keeps getting a little choppy. I don't know if that's her line.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on one second.
We can hear you. We got to get some of these callers in. Rebecca, I hate to break you in thought because I know that you're speaking from what you know.
She got a lot, too.
And speaking from what you know what I'm saying? I love to hear that when people have information that is factual. I love to hear stuff like that. But we got to get some of these callers in and let them have their opinion because they keep our show going.
Can I just finish that thought real quick in terms of Obama? In 95, He worked for that law firm, Milner Davis, and they represented Tony Rezko, who was a slumlord who he got off with no jail time after he was convicted of stealing over $14 million, and he had a fundraiser for Obama's senatorial campaign way back then in 2000. After he got off in 1995, and he started contributing from then to 2003 to President Obama's then senatorial campaign. So that just shows you how far back his history goes with being in bed with these people. And
he got some muscle with the beast.
Yes, sleeping with the enemy.
Yeah.
There you go. But we're going to take this caller. We got Victor from Memphis, Rebecca. So go ahead, Victor.
Thanks for holding on, Victor. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello.